Hi, everyone. It's Adriana Sachin here from Aurora Sacred Healing. I've been busy out in the forest collecting plants and doing a little bit of sharing online about how wonderful it smells in my house when I'm dehydrating um, these medicinal plants. So we have some markets coming up starting in the month of May and then every month thereafter, where I'm going to be selling some of my products, but also I'm going to be then creating an online shop so that these will be available even when there's no markets taking place. Um, these plants, I usually have a collection of people, different people all the time, who come with me to either collect the plants or help prepare the plants, whether it be um, lots of plucking plants, bugs off, cleaning them, and also lots of preparation with the dehydrating process. So this is like a make work project, including putting them into these kits. And this is what I'm going to be sharing with you today. This is a series called Winter in the Boreal Kit. And you can see is that there is a tea, and then I'm going to be talking about some of the other things that are in the package as well, to show you that there's lots of different ways to use the teas, which are just a mixture of plants. You don't necessarily, if you have a reaction, it doesn't agree with your stomach, there's other ways to use the medicine besides that. And that's what I'm going to share today. This blend here is called Winter in the Boreal Kit. I also promote wilderness survival. And when I take people out in the land and I show them what they can, even though food is not your primary concern when you're lost in the woods, in the wilderness, there comes a time when you do have to get some nourishment in you, particularly if you have to kind of keep going. And this series I'm going to do is to show you the types of plants in the boreal forest here that are available at different times of the year. So this one is the Winter in the Boreal Kit that I'm going to be promoting at the Artisan Market coming up this month in May. And these are plants that are available actually year round. Even in the middle of winter, you could, here we are surrounded by things like spruce and pine. You can, any time of the year, you can use their needles. But also you can move away some snow, and there's some evergreen shrubs that you can use even in the middle of the winter. So the first blend I have, I'll be honest with you, I have gone through a whole series of making different blends. You can tell I'm a science teacher because I actually had I made 3 different blends, and these were they had to choose between A, B, or C. And the conclusion of my experiment is that as soon as you put things like juniper and pine into a tea, it's going to be bitter without me using other plants like, any of the berries, which I normally would. If I was making a tea, I normally would put some sweeter plants in there as well when I know that there's the bitters. But this one's pretty bitter. So, my advice is to get some unpasteurized honey and sweeten it up, or let me show you the different ways in which to use the medicines. But first of all, I'm going to share with you how to use these, like how I'm going to prepare it, so that if you come to the market or you buy this kit online, then you're going to know more about what kind of interaction I have with the plants when I go out. Now, these plants were already picked. I go into areas. You have to watch when you pick that you're not near a road, anywhere where there might be chemicals, like some effluent kind of coming into water. Make sure you're in clean areas, especially if you're going to be ingesting these teas. Also be respectful. So I take tobacco. In fact, I always have tobacco with me in my vehicle, because I'm always a person who's a forager in the wilderness. They never stop foraging. You're always looking. Everything we need to survive and heal ourselves is available in Mother Earth, but you have to be looking for it. Not going to just be presented to you. So the first thing I do when I'm working with these plants is I want to engage this positive energy with them. These plants, when they're used as medicines, whether you're using them as a smudge or you're drinking them to help cleanse and purify, we want to have all the best intentions going into the plants when we are preparing them. We also want to be setting our intentions into the plants as well, so that energy, these plants have memory, they hold on to that, and they'll continue all the way to the person who then drinks the tea or does the smudge. So I'm going to bring in, I have my bowl here. So I like to surround my bowl when I'm making any kind of medicine. I'm going to be showing you different things that I do. Anytime, I really strongly follow the teachings of the medicine wheel, the 4 directions, the 4 cycles of life, which is why I'm making the tea like this, honoring that, that number 4, the 4 elements. So I want to bring, sort of call those four corners, and I'm going to sort of bless this area here, and smudge it before I start touching any of the plants, especially when they're going into the preparation. Keep in mind, we do the same thing before we, when we dry these plants, and then we have them all cleansed and purified. Now, these, I don't usually store in plastic. I store in glass, but these have just been made recently. If I was going to leave them for a while, I would never keep them in plastic. I'd keep them in jars. And even if you have a cabinet where you have everything kind of tucked away, like not in direct sunlight, then it'll keep really well. So let us call in the 4 quarters here and smudge our space. So Creator, we thank you for today. We thank you for the gifts of the East, the tobacco. In the East, we pray to the air spirit. And the air spirit who takes care of the newborns and the new life and the dawn of the new day, and to bring us patience. To the south, I give tobacco. Sorry, I gave tobacco in the east. In the south, I'm going to give cedar. Okay, cedar in the south here, where we pray to the fire spirit to take care of our youth, to give me kindness. We also pray for our emotional health in this area and spiritual in the east. So we're cleansing the space with that cedar. Oh, that smells so beautiful. And I use sage. I set down sage to the west, the water spirit. Is there to take care of us as adults. Our physical health is what we're bringing into this space here. And their gift of tolerance. Oh, it's beautiful, beautiful. And then lastly, in the north, this is the north we're working with the winters. Even though it is spring out, we don't have a lot of spring plants. I'm honoring winter with this blend. I have the sweetgrass. Now we have all 4 directions, all the plants. I like to use the plants as my offering. to the teas itself, because I feel like the plants have memory. They talk to one another. And when these medicines here talk to the medicines that we're going to be blending here, it's like there's a positive energy exchange, that it's going to be like our intentions are good. So bless all my relatives, all of creation here. Hey, hey. All right. So now let us start making our blend here. Okay. So the first one we're going to be working with, it's going to be the foundation. I'm not going to get into all the specifics of kind of tea blending here, but we want to have one that's like our basis. Okay. And this is Labrador tea. Looks quite different because remember, I commercially prepare it. So mine has been dehydrated and ground up into a fine powder. You can use a mortar and pestle to grind yours up. But when you break the plants up, you release those medicines from them. So Labrador tea, here is my Bible, by the way, when I am always preparing plants here. Put that aside. So I don't know if you can see the Labrador tea. Okay, Labrador tea found everywhere here. And so it's just generally makes for a very good tonic. It has a lot of vitamins and minerals. So it does have, that vitamin C if you need nutrition, but it's going to be just generally good for all different types of stabilizing blood sugars, or because I know a lot of diabetics will take it. So I'm going to use the largest amount of the Labrador tea. And I'm going to put that in to the bowl here. Now, I like making lots of things with Labrador tea. When I say tea, that's what they call the tea leaves. This is Labrador tea that's right now, it's infused in oil. And this oil can either be made into, I don't know where it went. Like a salve. Oh, here it is here. Okay. So you can make it into salves here. I have all different types of salves for different things. Or for massage oil. The other thing I have a little note here is a note to self to watch for the flowers. I want to get the flowers in here as well, and make some more infusion in oil there, because there's lots I can do. You're basically making like an essential oil there. The next main ingredient I'm going to use, this is a powerful one here. This is the pine. Okay, so I'm going to use, you can either use spruce or pine. The reason why I'm not using spruce is, even though it's just as readily available everywhere, I don't know if you guys need to see pictures of pine trees, like Christmas trees. But I'm going to be using in my spring in the Boreal kit, the spruce tips. So that's why spruce is going to be in the next one. When those new little buds come out at the ends of the spruce tree, I want to get those. So this one we're going to be using pine. Okay. So the pine I have, you can see this is where the labor intensive part comes up with, and I have people helping me. We have taken all the needles off, and we've dried them, and we've crushed them. Okay, so that's all the juniper there. Now juniper has lots of uses. At the market, I have several infusions going on. Infusion is just when you crush up the herb, and then you basically put it into a liquid. And then when you want to use the liquid, whether it be an oil, or I'm going to show you a tincture where I've used vodka. This is vinegar. You can also use salt if you want to make flavored salts. This is vinegar. So I'm going to be making a natural cleaner with this. So you mix vinegar and water, but so this is going to smell like pine sol. It's been infused for about the last 6 weeks. I've had it in a cupboard, and I'm going to mix it. The water I'm going to mix it with I've had this sitting out, this glass jug with oranges, and I'm making an infusion in the sun of orange. That'll be the water that goes into the cleanser. So you have not only that pine smell, but you have that citrus smell as well. Okay. So pine needles, really good for just generally taking away aches and pains is the medicine. But again, it also has a lot of energy boosting. You'll hear of people like making spruce gum or pine gum by just taking the sap off and eating it like gum. Pretty bitter, but if you need energy, it's everywhere. You know, might as well utilize it. So, oh, this is already smelling very good. Okay. So those are my two main ones. The next one I'm going to be using, so I don't know if you needed to see a picture of the pine tree. I don't know. It's not a very good picture, but you see the pine tree. That's something else that I try to do. Why I do this is we try to use as much as possible when you're a forager. So we use, we collect wood, right? We sell jack pine. So when we sell jack pine, we sell the wood. We like burn the wood ourselves. I take as much as I can. I can't use it all, but I take the needles from the wood that we harvest. I take the spruce, the gum, and the pine cones. We take the pine cones and we're going to be making fire starters and selling them. So we try to use as much as possible. If that tree's coming down, we try to make sure that we use as much of it as possible. Okay, which is another very important, sustainability is very important as well to Aurora. So this is bearberry, otherwise known as connectedness. Again, I wish I had some real plants. I don't know if you can see that there. So very appropriate here. Bearberry grows everywhere here. I'm in Cranberry Portage. So you can use the berries, but remember, this is winter blend. So there'll be no berries in the winter. These are just the leaves. Okay. Again, we take all the leaves off. We pick them off because I don't want the woody parts of the stem. The medicine is in the leaves. And then we dry it and make sure everything's all sanitized. So for health and safety here. So that's how ours is already prepared here. Okay. Now I'm going to use a little bit less of the bearberry. So let me just get out my measuring spoon. Okay. I have a little recipe here as a result of my taste test when I had people helping me there with that. Okay, so the bearberry's in there now. Bearberry, by the way, as most of you know, cranberry is very good for, I guess I could take my glasses off. Uterine, like if you're having a urinary tract infection or anything like that, any kind of infection, bearberry is very good for that. Kinnick. Very good for smudge as well. This was like around here, this is what indigenous people would make tobacco out of, with it mixed with willow. But what I like to do with the bearberry is make concentrated cranberry juice. So this here is bearberry that I have sitting in, notice I have them in dark jars because they can react when they sit for a long time. Either use a dark jar and keep it on a shelf, or if you don't have dark jars and you're letting them sit for weeks and weeks and weeks, keep them in a cupboard. Okay. But this is bearberry in vodka. So this is great when I know that I'm starting to feel a little bit sick. I don't feel so great. I feel like an infection's coming on. I just put drops of this into a water and I will just drink that every day, 3-4 drops in a glass of water or in, you know, whatever I'm drinking. And that'll take that, that UTI away. It's very concentrated. You only need a few drops. But again, you know, some people don't want use the alcohol. So again, we're showing you different ways. By the way, my kits do not have any of those solvents, whether it be vodka, vinegar, that kind of stuff you'd have to do on your own. But that's why I'm making the video. These are all the things you can do with the blends that you have in your kits. And I have an information package. I'm going to put this in the kits as well, that you'll have all these different ways to use the medicines. Okay, last one. So I wanted to have 4 in here, 4 big ones that are very commonly found year round in the boreal forest. And the last one is juniper. Okay, so juniper here, I have harvested, ouch, 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 there's some needles in there, they're very sharp. I harvested I wanted the berries. So now when I make this blend, notice I'm putting this in last. Juniper is very strong. I will be making a tea blend with all the strongest medicines if you feel a cold coming on. They are bitter. It's like drinking Buckley's mixture. I kind of don't want this tea blend to taste like Buckley mixture. So I'm only going to use a small amount of juniper. Okay, and we mix it in there, our juniper. Juniper, by the way, also very, very good. I have it also in some oil. Actually, you can see the oil is gone. I need to top it up again. And with that oil, I have mixed the oil into Epsom salts here. Okay, juniper is really good for taking away aches and pains. So this is really good for muscles. Whether you just use the oil infused with the berries as a massage oil, like kind of like A535 or Voltaren, or you could put some of the oil into your Epsom salt and put that in your bath, or this is making salves. These are a little bit more work. In the kit I have provided for you, we're going to do things kind of a lot easier and quicker than that. Okay. Last thing. Okay. Now I have all of my medicines in my bowl here. Okay. And so what I want to do is, you can, we smudged it. This is like a singing bowl. I have tried that before. I can sing with it, but I did the smudge instead this time. But before I put my hands in there, what I want to do is, use like Reiki, like energy. I want to like basically get that love and blood flowing through me and get it into my hands before I start working with the medicines. Okay, you can use like a wooden spoon. I like to use that energy exchange. Again, it all the way through, right to the point you drink the tea, connection to the plants. That's how you get the strongest amount of medicines out of it. Okay, good intentions. So you can even charge your hands at first. Feel that heat, maybe close your eyes, turn your attention within, focusing on the space between your brow, taking a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And as you do, slow your hands down and slowly start opening them up. Just imagine you feel like you're pulling like sticky, like taffy in between your hands. Feel that energy, the heat of your hands. You have energy chakras in the palms of your hands. I want you to turn that down to the plants. Imagine as if these were your best friends. I send love. I do some work with the plants before I start to actually make the teas. And I send them. There's a lot of research to show that positive language and positive affirmations help things grow, help things rise to their highest potential. So I want to tell these plants, I love you. I see you. I feel you. I smell you. I thank you. I bring into my heart all the people who will drink this medicine. I think about all the people that helped me to prepare it. I give thanks to the plants that shared their life's essence. These are the seeds. These are the new shoots. A lot of these are the best parts of the plants that are being shared with us. And I give thanks. and gratitude. I see you. I love you. We'll just mix it up. And then it would go into the Ziploc bag. Now, I wanted to share with you, I'm not going to show you the actual packaging of all these, but let me show you different ways to use it. So now we have our tea blend. This is it here. Smells very like the forest, like Christmas here. So when you open up your kits, this is what you'll find in it. The first one I've included in the kits is a little organic cotton little bag here. Okay, so for those of you who don't necessarily have these cups, you know, where you can put your loose tea into the cup and then you know, let it sit, these work well. I'll tell you the reason why I prefer these to even the one I just showed you necessarily is if you want to get the most medicine out of here, we can't simply make teas like this, like we would make a cup of tea. The longer you can steep the tea, the stronger the medicines are, and it'll get more bitter. So keep that honey close, or just suck it up and drink it. So decoction is something where you would put like in a pot. It's great if you have spring water, rainwater, moon water to make your medicinal teas, but if you don't worry about it. But I've given you each a little scoop here. Now, if I was ingesting it for the first time, I would maybe just start with 1 or 2 scoops, like on the side of not too much. Okay, now remember, the first time you steep it and you drink it, maybe don't do that 10-minute steeping because it's going to be very strong. Maybe just try, you know, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and try that, drink it a little bit and see if you have any adverse reactions. By the way, if you have any concerns, I listed off the 4 plants: Labrador tea, jack pine, bearberry, and juniper seeds. If you have medications you're on, or say you're pregnant and you're not sure, feel free to just contact Aurora. And you know, it's best to be safe and check these things out first. These are chemicals, just like we would take, you know, prescriptions. There are chemicals in these plants, and we want to make sure there's no drug interactions. Okay, so message me. So the other thing you can use this for is to put your medicines into it and then so let's say you drank it maybe and it didn't really do anything for you. You don't really maybe have digestive issues or absorption issues. Maybe you're having respiratory issues. Well, holy smokes, this smells like Buckley's mixture. I have bad asthma and I love this mixture for helping with asthma. Okay, so ways to help with asthma, a quick and easy way: put your 1 or 2 scoops into your little bag. In this bowl, I would pour boiling water, and then I would put a blanket or a towel over my head, and I would breathe it in. Okay, that's one way. The other way to remember is put some of these into make an oil out of them. Okay, make an oil, and then you can put some of that oil into spray container. Sorry, I don't have one here, but I'm going to be selling these also. If spray is really good, like you want to spray instead of doing this, you can do that as well. Just mix the oil from the juniper that you've been blending with some, like a carrier oil. I like using grapeseed, or because jojoba is too expensive for me. Well, it's also not as readily available up here in the north. So, okay. So that's one way we can use it. So we got it internally, drinking it. You can vary how strong the tea you want to make it, just for pleasure, enjoying. Steep for 3 to 5 minutes. As a medicine to get all the goodness out of it, steep for 10 minutes plus. Not so great with the tea. You want to breathe it in respiratory. That's what this little bag can be for. The third thing you can use this little bag for is you can literally submerge your whole body in that aroma, this pine aroma. You know, if that you know, that seems like that would be very healing for you. Maybe put a little bit more, okay, than 1 or 2 scoops, maybe like 2 or 3 scoops into your bag here. And you got one or two options. Again, if you don't want it to be all that strong, just drop this in the bath while the bath is filling up. If you want it to be stronger, boil this, make that decoction in the stove, like boil it for a while, and then add that boiled water. And you can even throw this in, but the boiled water, who has drawn out all the medicines, put that in your bath. Okay, so that's another way you can do it. And then the last one is the smudge. So I showed you kind of the smudge. Hello, where are my, I had them sitting here. I'm just looking for, oh, I'm just going to grab one here. I don't know where they went to. So in your kit here, you can see there are little charcoals. Okay, so here are these charcoals. Now that was exactly what I used in the smudge pot here. So they're really easy to use. You just light the little charcoal here, put it in a pot or a container that can handle heat. Watch out for this. Don't necessarily put it on a dresser and then leave it. You might have a burn mark. Okay. Take your scoop and, you know, 1 scoop on top of the charcoal, do the smudge. Okay. Smudge the eyes so you may see the beauty of the world, your ears so you may, you know, actively listen to others. Breathe it in so that you get that medicine right down into you. Breathe it into your mouth, but also your mouth so that you may speak kind words over your head, clearing your mind out. You know, that clarity that these medicines do. Not only do they clear your respiratory system, they'll help clear your whole head, you know, thoughts and mental health. And then I like to just kind of go through the whole body, especially smudging areas if I have any kind of aches or pains or sores, and use the medicine. Again, you're breathing it in, but this is in a smoke form. And so see what sort of feels good for you. So look forward to the whole series. So I'm going to be doing in the spring when we got the spruce tips, we'll have rose petals out. Heck, there's tons of things. Spring is not a problem. Probably I started with maybe the hardest one, especially when there's going into the forest and collecting these when there was still snow up to our thighs here. You know, that was hard to harvest these. Chaga would be another one that could be harvested in the winter year round. In fact, it's always good to harvest chaga before the tree wakes up. However, I'm going to be using chaga. Is such a powerful taste as well. I didn't want to have too strong taste here, like the pines and chaga. So I'm going to be making a separate chai blend, or chaga chai blend, that I'll be selling chaga separately. It's like my favorite. That's what I drink for coffee every day. Yep. So winter, the spring I already said, the summer in the Boreal, that kit is going to celebrate like all the berries that are coming out. So that's what that one's going to be. The fall, you got things like rose hips that we're going to be collecting in that one. So without sort of that, you know, the spoiler here, I'm going to try and highlight these plants are the ones that would be, you know, when you get into foraging and trying to find what can the land provide, you start to learn like your cycles, your seasons of what plants are coming available at what time. So I hope you find this useful. Look forward to on our AURORA Facebook page. We'll have them sold there. We'll also have them on our website. So if you can't make those markets, the first one is in Cranberry Portage. So you can check the website, May 27th. And then up in Flin Flon with the Aboriginal Friendship Center on June 21st. So we have an Indigenous Day celebration. And this is a great way because this is one of the Indigenous experiences that we promote here at Aurora. And then Cranberry Portage again in July, August, and September. So I'll share those other dates with you in the future videos. Thank you for watching. Again, any questions, concerns, please just send out a message, like and subscribe, and stay wild. Namaste. And don't forget to live every day sacred.